Managing Stress and Staying Positive, Law Firm Growth During COVID-19, Episode 74. Are you ready to make your law firm a profit-generating machine that will free up your time and skyrocket your impact? With more than 2 decades of business growth experience and having proven that you can be successful while prioritizing your family and your impact, introducing the Profit with Law podcast. I am your host, the creator of the Firm Differentiator 10X Effect, Moshe Amsel. Welcome to another episode of Profit with Law. I am your host, Moshe Amsel, and today we have another replay of our COVID-19 live stream series. And just to let my regular subscribers, regular listeners know what our plan is, we're doing a series of 10 of these live streams. And some of you are attending those live streams live. So I just want you to know that we are going to be keeping to our schedule of a guest on Thursdays. And although this week I didn't do a solo episode, next week I will be doing a solo episode. So if you've attended these live, you don't want to listen to it again, you can just skip over these episodes. But if you missed it, these have been amazing conversations so far. This is just day 2, and I'm blown away by the value that's being shared, the ideas. If you're affected at all by the pandemic, decrease in business, increased stress load, all kinds of things. We have those answers coming to you, and it's not just my stuff, right? I have a minimum of 4 to anywhere to 7 or 8 panelists on each of these live streams, and we all bring loads of experience with us. So really good stuff, and I'm just super excited about it. But I wanted to make sure that you understood what was going on. So we're going to temporarily go to a daily show here on the podcast, but this is not a change in what we're doing. We will go back to our regularly scheduled programming once this live stream is over. So I hope you enjoy it. I wanted to just give another way for you to get this content, and hopefully this is something that's of value to you. Take care, and here is that replay. All right, welcome everybody to Managing Stress and Staying Positive. This is day number 2 of our 10-day live stream for dealing with the COVID, social distancing, the economic fallout, everything that's going on. Today's topic was chosen because one of the things that we can easily get stuck on is stress. And if we get caught in stress and we get caught in the negative spiral, what that does is it creates a situation where we can't get anything done. There's no way to move forward when you're inundated with stress, when you're stuck in negativity. And this is a prime opportunity to make significant changes in your business, to take action, to move forward, because when people are focused on something, if you have a way to take that focus and use it to bring you closer to your audience, bring you closer to your market, then it's a prime opportunity for that. So rather than wasting that opportunity, I want you to harness it. I want you to take action from it. And that's going to require that you find ways to overcome that stress and to stay positive. Now, this series would not be possible without our sponsors. So I just want to take a moment to share with you a little bit about the 3 companies that sponsor this event, along with my own. So first of all, New Law Business Model. Katz is the owner of New Law Business Model. She was on yesterday's stream. She's going to be on a bunch of them. I don't know. Oh, she's here today. Let me actually make her a co-host. Katz is here with us as well. New Law Business Model has been training lawyers on a new way to serve families and business owners, both online and offline, since 2006. To get all of their resources on how to get paid $3,000 to $5,000 per estate plan and $750 to $3,000 per month per business owner client. All you got to do is join their free Facebook group. It's a closed community where Allie provides support, and it's called Lifestyle Lawyers Club. Mimi on my team is here on with us. She's going to post a link to Lifestyle Lawyers Club. You can go and request access to join their group. When you sign up, just mention that you came from the Law Firm Growth Summit COVID series, and they'll send you a video and a guide that they have created to help you serve virtually. We're also sponsored by GNGF. GNGF is a marketing firm that services lawyers. And Mark Homer from GNGF has been kind enough to offer a free book for you. He's authored a book on serving clients through online marketing. And that book you can access for free by going to gngf.com/free-book. Again, that link will be in the comments as well. And then finally, sponsored by Smith AI. And Smith AI is a virtual reception answering service, but they do more than that, right? They get involved in your firm and in your practice and help you with moving forward in your business. They'll make outbound calls for you. They'll monitor, and they'll install a web chat on your website, and they'll monitor that web chat and interact with your prospects and your customers who are coming through the web chat to interface with you and interact with you. And they're offering a special offer specifically to people who are on this live stream. And normally when you sign up, you get a free 20-call trial, free spam blocking, free CRM integration. Today, they're adding a free first month of the starter plan, which is $140 value with 20 more calls. So you get 40, and free 24/7 AI chatbot with free setup and installation. So instead of paying for that, they're going to give it to you for free, set it up for you. That's a white glove service. It's $150 value. So you're going to get a $290 value by signing up today using a code, and that code is Smith COVID-19, Smith COVID-19. And again, that link will be posted in the chat as well. Finally, Profit with Law, my company. I'm a podcast host. Please go and listen to Profit with Law podcast. If it's right for you, I would love it if you became a subscriber. I also have collaborated with Mark Homer from GNGF and Melanie Leonard from, I'm forgetting the name of her company right now. Melanie Leonard is the technology guru when it comes to technology resources for your law firm. Mark Homer is marketing. I'm the business guy. The three of us have partnered together to create a membership community to support small law firm owners. If you're in the 0 to 250K revenue range, we have launched this membership for you. Right now, there's nothing in there, but it's going to be built out over the course of the next few weeks, the next few months. And it's a unique opportunity to join us at an unbelievable price. It's going to end up being $150 a month when it's fully built out. You can join today for $27 a month. Go to profitwithlaw.com/incubator. There's a number of free things I'm going to give you when you join. Number one, the all access pass to the Law Firm Growth Summit from December. That's for sale right now on our website. Go to lawfirmgrowthsummit.com and you can buy it for $1,000. You can have that for free if you join the incubator today. And that'll give you access to all 31 recorded sessions from the summit that we had in December. In addition, I have a course that teaches you how to get an hour back in your day through time management, through deleting tasks, through automating tasks, through delegating tasks. And that Get 1 Hour of Back class will also be included free when you sign up at just $27 a month. So that's profitwithlaw.com/incubator. That link as well will be in the chat. So enough about the sponsors and the promotions. I really appreciate everybody coming together to make this happen, but let's get a quick intro from our panelists. I'm just going to start with Shauna, and then I'll go to Molly, then Andy, then Mike, and then Wendy, and then Allie. Shauna, you're first. Just give us a quick hello. Who are you? And then we'll come back around to talk about our topic today.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shauna Gaus, and I am the Executive Vice President of Tracers, which is an online platform which helps attorneys find people, businesses, and locate assets. And I am calling in from Larkspur, California, which is right over the Golden Gate Bridge today.
Hi, I'm Molly McGrath, and I'm from Denver, Colorado, and I am the founder of Hiring and Empowering Solutions. And for 22 years, we have been serving estate planning and elder law attorneys by and large in regards to all efforts in marketing, staffing, and team development. We have been blogging and podcasting since 2008 as well. And that's it. Welcome.
I think it's me, right? So, hey, I'm Andy Stickel. I help lawyers get clients. I put out a lot of unique marketing content that I try to put out stuff that people haven't heard before, or at least kind of give new takes on how you can market your firm effectively and use social media and different things like that. I also own the agency Social Fire Starter, which is we've got, I think, close to 65 lawyers that I oversee the marketing campaigns for.
Hi, I'm Mike Whelan. I am in Kansas City. I wrote a book called Lawyer Forward, Finding Your Place in the Future of Law. My job is I help legal technology companies with communication strategy to solo and small firm lawyers, and I'm very active on Twitter because it's cheaper than therapy. I'm at Mike Whelan Jr.
All right, we're at Wendy.
Is it? Okay.
Hi, I'm Wendy Collier. I'm a what I call soul fuel business marketing and mindset coach. I guess I'm a little bit of an unusual person to be in this group. I have worked with lawyers, but they've been as private clients, helping women to, mainly women, some men, to discover their soul fuel, what they're meant to do, and how that can be a gorgeous online business. I also do have some corporate accounts where I run masterminds and help business owners with team management, team development. I have a podcast called Soul Fuel, and I'm really happy to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. Allie, you're up.
Hi, everyone. I'm Allie Katz. You may have known me as Alexis Neely in the past. And starting from 2003 to 2006, I built my law practice into $1 million a year revenue generating practice by inventing a new way of serving families in my community. I wrote the best-selling book on legal planning for families. It's called Wear Clean Underwear. It's got a funny name, but it's important to talk about the legal planning steps we need to take when wearing clean underwear is no longer enough because we have kids at home. And I identified a number of holes in the planning process that we were taught. I worked at one of the best law firms in the country, and the way that we were doing estate planning for the families we served was frankly broken. And in many ways, all these years later, still is. And so at New Law Business Model, which I started training lawyers back in 2006, starting with how to get hired by the people in your community, and then went on to expand that to how to serve them in a truly meaningful way. So today, we help lawyers who want to stop competing with online services, make the highest and best use of technology, but also truly turn their law degree into their most valuable asset, serving their communities as the go-to lawyer for families and small business owners in their community. With all of our retraining and then all of our tools and resources done for you marketing. What I realized last night is that we are really best and right for lawyers who love to market, love to get hired, love to engage clients without feeling salesy, but don't want to have to reinvent the wheel and do it all themselves, but instead leverage everything that we've created and partner with us to become that go-to lawyer in their community. So it's so cool to see some of your faces. Andy, I feel like I see your ads all the time. And now I'm like seeing the actual you.
Actually, this is an ad. I don't know if you know that or not, but
oh, this is an ad. This is just an ad.
Here. Yeah.
Great. Moshe, before we get started, I'm used to being able to see the attendees list. Okay, there it is. Okay, now I can see the attendees. It helps me to feel more connected to people when I can see.
No problem.
See
All right, so
here.
some quick housekeeping stuff real quick. So at the bottom of the Zoom window, there's a Q&A button. That is the right place to go if you have any questions. So click that Q&A button, ask your questions, and we would love to bring you on live if that's something you'd like to do. So if you have a question, post it in there. And if you're willing to come on live, just say, hey, I'm willing to come on live, and we'll bring you on. We'll promote you to a panelist and allow you to talk to us and have a back and forth conversation. If you don't have any questions, then just sit back and relax and let us control that conversation. But I would love it if our audience would join in and ask that information. So somebody just asked a question of where can I find the sponsors info? So actually, the easiest place to go find the sponsors all in one place is today's podcast episode was released. So the show notes page there has all those links right there tidy for you. So profitwithlaw.com/073, and Mimi will post that into the chat. profitwithlaw.com/073. Today's podcast episode is a replay of yesterday's COVID session. And in the show notes there, we link to all of our sponsors and their stuff. All right. So we're here today to talk about managing stress and staying positive. And what I'd like to do is, until we have any questions that come in, I'd like to start off with just going to each of our panelists and maybe give 2 tips, your best tip on managing stress and your best tip on staying positive. And then we can work off of those tips and see where that conversation takes us. So I'm going to go to Wendy first.
All right. Well, hello. So all the things that we learned about stress, we are being extra challenged by right now in terms of how to manage it. Managing everyday stress is one thing. Managing this kind of stress is another, right? So we've got 2 questions, Moshe. You said with the best tip to manage stress, I would say is to, if you haven't already learned meditation and breath work, now is the time. Number 1 tip. And you can get lots of free videos. You just Google it. You can get lots of free videos on free meditations, free breath work, little lessons. It's very easy. Pranayama breath work. This calms the central nervous system, which is essential right now because most of us are feeling a lot of fight and flight and a lot of anxiety. So really to learn how to manage your breath, manage your energy through meditation, through breath work, through positive guided visualizations, or flow dreaming is another practice that I use. You can learn about that at flowdreaming.com. Is excellent, as well as getting out in nature. I'm sorry, I'm giving more than 2 tips. Going out in nature is going to help also to calm your central nervous system, touching trees and things like that. With respect to staying positive, absolutely controlling the information you're taking in on a day-to-day basis, being very watchful and protective of your mind, your body, your spirit, your emotions. And that means being extra selective about the information you're bringing in. So something that's helped me is I'm focused. I do know what's going on worldwide, of course, but I'm focused on my county. So checking in once a day on my public, health county website to know things that are going to directly impact me right now. Controlling the amount of information I'm taking in definitely allows me to then have more space and room to be more positive and to direct my own thoughts and feelings and not be just reacting and responding to so much that's coming our way right now. And along those lines, absolutely not taking in any information about our current situation at least 2 hours before bedtime, and definitely not the first 2 hours of the day either, is an excellent way to stay positive, because when you wake up in the morning, you can then decide how you want that day to go. What is your intention? Who do you want to be? How do you want to feel? Who do you want to help? And when you focus on that first thing in the morning and you shut out the negative information, but still stay informed, but especially in the morning, it'll set the pace for the day. And that'll really help you to stay on track mentally and emotionally. So those are
Awesome.
my top ones, Moshe.
Awesome, Wendy. Thank you. I love that. Shauna, let's go to you. Top tip on managing stress and top tip on staying positive.
Okay, so can everyone hear me? I would say for the top tip on managing the stress is to mind your mental health. And this is when, just the financial anxieties, being physically restrained into your home, that I think is first and foremost. And so how do we do that? Just as, Wendy had explained, you can go outside and have healthy activities to relieve the stress. You also is, whether it be trail running, which is my go-to, and also what I have found is, I'm home with a business and a dog and 4 kids. And so my reality has become, okay, how do you work? how do you care for the family, and how do you homeschool, and how do you run a household. And so that, the first day in was like, all right, there needs to be a plan. And so the way I've been working and managing this stress is really spreading the work out. And so this is not just the mom and dad who are running the house. This is the whole family is in it, doing it together. And that has really spread out the work. It's brought everyone closer together. And this is a journey that we're all going through together, and everyone is actually feeling good about what they're doing. The other third point, which is really critical, is in the minding your mental health, is for those who are actually in any type of a recovery, is to get an online resource. And there are some, amazing alternatives that are, coming forth. And so I do want to put out that one is called We Connect Recovery, and they have opened up their platform to anyone, and they're hosting like 6 meetings a day. And because this is a very vulnerable population, and so that is, find your community to where you need those support channels. And then in regards, to the positive, staying positive. Okay, so in our house, what we have done is we've termed, it's because we had been shelter in place for a week and a half now. And so we have termed the coin of getting happy in place. And this is what we've got. The Swedish, they've got this amazing, they call it hiji, or Huji, where it's like, it's about creating an environment at home that is safe and it feels good, and it's all in these little details. And so that is really, we're just constantly trying to flip it to the positive and just be happy in our place.
Awesome. I love that. And I love the that community that you shared, and that idea of just jumping in and getting involved with the community somewhere. Awesome tip there as well. Allie, I know I told Andy he's going to go next, but I know you might have to jump off. So let's go to you. Give us your best tips for both managing stress and staying positive.
Great. Thank you. So the thing that I think is most important for all of you is twofold. One is to keep your eye focused on where you want to go. It's really easy to get caught up in the mind spin, worry, doubt, and fear. And that's a tremendous amount of wasted energy. In fact, that kind of energy is exactly what led me into bankruptcy now nearly 9 years ago. After I had already built $2 million businesses. I had built $1 million law practice and $1 million online training company. And the weight of all of it got so thick for me. And we weren't even in the middle. We were in a great economy, right? We'd already even made it on the other side of the recession. I had helped lawyers make it through the recession. And yet the weight of all of it became so thick in my head, and I didn't have the tools to handle it, that I just threw up my hands and I said, forget it. I'm walking away from all of this. And I moved to a farm and I let it all go, and I filed bankruptcy. That didn't have to happen. Now looking back and seeing what's happened since then and how I rebuilt from that. And, today my companies do $5 million a year of revenue, and we're supporting not just lawyers, but families and small business owners as well that the lawyers serve. And I'm obviously holding so much more. I look at what made the difference. Is it just maturity? Yes, there is some aspect of maturity, but what is maturity? Oh, maturity is that when that fear comes up, because it still does come up, of course, the more we hold, the more we're being asked to hold. It can be a lot. When that fear comes up, what do I do with it? In the past, what I did with it is I went into a downward spiral that sucked all of my life force energy, and all I focused on is what I didn't want. All I focused on is how hard it was, and how I didn't have the support I needed, and how I didn't think I had the money I needed, even though I was making lots of money. So what I learned since, and I certainly had the ability to make lots of money. So what I learned since then is that first of all, when that fear comes up, notice it, acknowledge it, don't try to push it away. In fact, right before we got on here, I got in my bed for 5 minutes. I set my timer for 5 minutes and I laid down and I was just with my feelings. I didn't know how to do that before. I didn't even know how to feel my feelings before. So the more you can just feel your feelings for a contained period of time, right? So I set it for 5 minutes. And then I felt those feelings of fear. I acknowledged them. I let them know it's okay. I'm here. I'm showing up. I'm serving. And then focus on what I do want. Focus on the outcomes that I can provide. So with the lawyers in our community right now, we're helping them look at how many clients do you want to serve in April? You need to know that. How many clients do you want to serve in April, and at what average fee? And if you look at the number of clients that you have the capacity to serve in April, it's probably actually not that many. So for most of the lawyers in our programs, it's somewhere between 4 and 12. Their average fees are, let's say, $3,500, $4,000. And they only can serve 4 to 12 new clients next month. So if they just keep focusing on the few numbers that they can actually serve and the exact next steps for them to take to get there, they will get there. They will not succumb to the downward spiral of fear, worry, and doubt. So I want to encourage you to do the same. Feel your feelings, be with your fear for contained periods, go to your car and scream if you have to, get it out, and then get back to focusing on where you want to go and all the tools, resources, and support you have to get there.
Mm.
Yeah, I love that. I absolutely love that, Allie. Thank you so much for that share and for the realness and, you know, like what you went through with your bankruptcy and where your focus was and how you learned to get away from that and even your experience with right before coming live. Getting present with your feelings. I still struggle with this personally, really understanding my feelings. So I definitely resonated with that. Andy, we're going to go over to you.
So what I try to do, because I mean, I have 2 businesses that I run right now, and it's really interesting. But the one thing that I try to do is, because I'm also kind of, all my clients are coming to me and saying, okay, what do we do? The phones aren't ringing. And you can, you know, most of our clients do SEO and do websites and things like that for my agency. So the biggest thing that I'm looking at right now is you can only control what you can control. There's certain things that you cannot control that are absolutely out of your control. And I think that a lot of times people really worry about the things that they can't control. And I think the biggest thing you can do is you need to be able to identify what can you control and what can you not control. And don't ignore what you can't control, but don't dwell on what you can't control. Be aware of it, but understand that if you just focus on the things that you can control, then you can actually have some sort of positive impact. So what I try to do is I say, okay, I'm not going to look 3 months from now because who knows what's going to happen 3 months from now, but what can I do today that I can move myself forward? What can I control today that I can do that will make a positive impact that maybe it'll benefit me in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever it is? And if you have these small steps where basically you're focusing on what you're controlling and then you're actually taking action, then what's going to happen is, first of all, you're going to feel good because of the fact that you're actually feeling like you're doing something rather than just sitting around staring at the phone, waiting for it to ring and it doesn't ring. You're being proactive. So you actually have some say in what happens to you rather than just laying down and dying, for example. You're going to fight back, you know? So that's one thing I've been doing for, like, in my Facebook group is I've been trying to, every day I'm putting out like, I'm calling it quarantine lawyer marketing. Like, what can you do today? You know? So that's the first thing is you have to kind of look at, like, what can you control? What can't you control? And of the things you can control, what can you do right now that will make a difference? And so that manages my stress. And I think that's helped a lot of people manage their stress. Also, the way I stay positive is I understand, you know, everything is cyclical. So just like we were in a great economy, you know, for however long, I mean, it wasn't going to last forever. Everybody knew it wasn't going to last forever because these things come in waves. But if you look at how long a good economy lasts compared to how long a bad economy lasts, or I guess a bull market versus a bear market, the bear market is significantly shorter than the bull market. Now, obviously, these are different times, but you start looking at positives that you can take away. China has not had any new cases I honestly, I don't watch the news that much. for the same reason that somebody mentioned before, because it just depresses you. So I try to stay away from that. But you can look at the positives. You know, supply chains are turning back on. They're reporting no new cases or very few new cases. So there is going to be an end to this. So the way that I stay positive is I figure out how can I help people? Because at the end of the day, if I make it all about me, then it's not going to benefit. It's not going to benefit anyone. But if you focus on, instead of saying, what can I do for myself, and start saying, okay, what can I do to help other people? You know, who are the people that I'm trying to serve? What is it that they need? What is it that they want? What are they afraid of? All those types of things. Because lawyers don't realize that your brain is your most powerful asset. It's your most valuable asset. There's so many things that that, you can look at all these different things that your clients are going to and how it relates to what's happening right now and all the fears and the worries and all that type of stuff that people are worried about, and you can help them solve those problems, and you can help people, and just do whatever you can to help people. And by doing that, you're going to be benefiting yourself. I truly believe in the karma bank. But also, again, you're feeling like you're making progress, you're helping people, and it just keeps you positive. I don't know. I like giving out all these free tips and everything. I had the idea, I don't know if anybody saw today, I had an idea where I was saying lawyers should go buy a 55-gallon drum of hand sanitizer and give it away for free. And I post, if anybody wants the link, let me know. I'll give you the link to where you can actually buy a 55-gallon drum of hand sanitizer, put it in Ziploc bags, and then give it out. But that's something that helps people, and it's, call the news, and I bet you they'll spread the word about it, So it's just figure out who needs your help, what can you help with, and how can you help them? And then what can you control and what can't you control? And anything you can control, take advantage of it. And if you can't control it, don't worry about it. It's don't bury your head in the sand, but don't dwell on it, because there's nothing you can do about it, and it's not going to serve you any good to dwell on it.
So
Awesome.
just a couple of quick things consistent with what's been said. One, to be positive, I'm a big fan of going negative. It's sort of the stoic response and imagining the worst case scenario and sort of going through, okay, what actually am I worried about here, right? Because in the end, money's a construct and control is a fiction. And you just got to get to the point that you realize none of these things are real. Life is a board game. Just play the damn game. So you got to process, some of that grief. My daughter yesterday, her bird died, was killed by her cat. It was a whole thing. And, consistent with what Allie said, I told her, just sit and draw this feeling that you got right now. Just draw or write or whatever, put it on a piece of paper, get that out, then fold up the piece of paper, get rid of it, and get back to work, right? You definitely have to process the emotions. The other thing I would say is I find it sort of hilarious that we're all freaking out as lawyers that we're so socially isolated right now. We were always socially isolated, right? This is the law firm business model, and we've been like this for a long time. If you look at the research of Robin Dunbar, he talks about our need to have these close personal networks, not friends, right? I have a lot of social media friends and I love all of you, but if you're not giving me a hug tomorrow, right? But as this research shows, you've got to have that physical contact. We're wired for that. So if you have people at home, it is really tempting. We've had a lot of crises in our life, a lot of disasters we've dealt with. And it is really tempting in those moments to get in your bed and tell everybody just to go away. Everybody's just annoying. You got too much. Don't do that. Reduce your tasks. Only do 3 things a day and hug people more. Go the opposite direction of what you're thinking of, because that physical contact is so important. So those are my 2 tips.
Great.
Awesome. Mike, thank you so much. Molly, you're
But
up.
only hug the people in your house.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
I was just gonna say
Agreed.
that.
Okay, so like many other people, I have 2 different businesses. So outside of my hiring and empowering company, the marketing side of our business is Legal Marketing Flow. We have a free Facebook group, and every day I am bringing a different energy expert in there to speak. So on Saturday, we had Dana Wild of Train Your Brain and working on mindset. On Sunday, we had a business alignment and Reiki coach in there. So every single day we're bringing someone in there to teach techniques to train your mind, body, spirit, breath, and really complementing everything that everybody said. So I'd highly recommend if you want to join there, it's free. And we're doing a tremendous amount of training every single day on your managing your stress. Yesterday we had someone that worked on managing your patience of working at home with kids, and I was a case study. So that's number one. Number two, I would say when I have my attorneys, thankfully I work with estate planning and elder law attorneys, and they're incredibly busy right now. So their stress right now is not about lead generation. It's about pivoting. So my recommendation, what I'm having my clients do is do a daily stand-up meeting. And for attorneys, this is really, really hard, but you need to be vulnerable, you need to be real, and you need to be raw. And the truth will set you free. It's no longer about don't sweat the small stuff and don't let them see that. Stand up with your team. They want to hold the puke bucket for you. They want you to get everything out there that is going around, your thoughts, your feelings, your worries, and I have them whiteboard it all. And they do a thought download. They do an emotion download. They do an idea download. They do a brain dump. And I have them put all that out there. And then they strategize and prioritize. What can we do to move the needle 1%? And then they do a huddle at the end of the day. And so many of them are working virtual. Some of them are still in their brick and mortar buildings. But I cannot say enough about how just sharing and doing, sharing what's on your heart, what's in your mind, what have you, will de-energize all that significantly for you and allow everyone to huddle and to figure out who's doing what to reach goal and what the goal is for the day and what the priorities are. We talked about this yesterday about people sometimes getting too lost in trying to work on systems and other things. And I say just keep your eye in your circle of focus and include the people in your life at work. And then at home, there's something I have my client, have a sit down meeting with your family, have a family meeting and recreate your ground rules, how we're going to operate, and share about what you're up to, when you will be available for your kids, when you will not be available for your kids, what days, giving yourself permission to not be there all the time, and just really create a schedule around that. But have the crucial, heartfelt conversations with everybody in your life, because that's typically when the stress really increases. And when the negativity starts to brew is because we're trying to suffer in silence, go it alone, and we're not having the really prominent and profound conversations with the people in our professional and personal life.
Awesome, Molly. Love that. Love the stand-up meetings too. All right. So for me, managing stress is it's something that I don't really do a good job of understanding how I'm doing it. In other words, I'm not very much in tune to it. I'm a guy, and I think I'm sure that there's a lot of guys who are not in this category, but I think there's a divide between male and female, where females are much more in tune with their emotions and males are a lot less in tune with their emotions. And I think that I'm in that camp. So I don't recognize when I am experiencing stress, but what I do know is that I am where my focus is, right? So if I'm focusing on something negative, a perfect example is when I was learning to ride a motorcycle. They were teaching you how to keep your balance and how to stay on the bike and not fall off. And they said, well, wherever your eyes go, that's where the bike goes. So if you look at the floor, you'll end up on the floor. You need to make sure to always be looking ahead on the road and looking into the curve that you're, into the turn, so that you stay on the bike and you keep with the turn, keep with the curve. Life is the same way. If you're focusing on something negative that's going to happen, if you're focusing on something, the what ifs, those what ifs are going to come true. Like that's what's going to occur for you. And if you're focusing on positive things and what's going to, move you forward and that's going to happen for you. So I kind of feel like they happen together. So if you focus on the positive and you just make yourself busy with moving forward, that's going to also remove the stress, if that makes any sense. So that's my take on it, my tip for you. So if you, just choose something to focus on, it's going to move you forward. We do have a question from Melissa Pierce in the audience. I brought Melissa on here as a panelist so she can ask her question live. Melissa, you can unmute yourself and go ahead with your question.
Okay, so my question is, my practice is mainly family law. And yesterday our governor issued stay home, stay safe executive order. So everybody's got to stay home. As soon as that order came out yesterday, I was inundated with calls from clients who are panicking about parenting time. What do I do? And I'm very empathetic. And I try to stay in their emotions for that moment, but yesterday particularly, I was going from emotion to emotion to emotion. And, today I had to warn a client, you need to follow what I'm telling you because now you've been trespassed and, we've got this executive order, both are misdemeanors. Don't go break the law. But I understand your concern. And unfortunately, with the courts closed, a lot of times I have to tell them is be patient. That's all I can say. So how do I keep my own mental health up there while dealing with the client?
It's an awesome question. Anybody want to jump in here?
Can I offer something for that?
Sure.
Melissa, have you tried, are you open to meditation?
Yes, I do it. And I actually, one of the first things I do tell my clients is when they call, it's take a breath. No, I really mean it. Take a deep breath.
So there's a certain type of meditation that is very good for this. They are cord clearing meditations or cord clearing exercises that can be done very quickly in the moment. You could be cord clearing all day if you need to, if you're getting inundated with calls. So you can just take a note. You could Google this free cord clearing meditation. This helps you to protect your own energy. It helps you to detach energetically from the emotions, especially if you're really empathic, which you probably are, and you're taking it in and absorbing it. So this will help you to disconnect from that so that you can reclaim your own power and your own energy.
Yeah, I love that. I would say the same thing too. You can go on YouTube. There's so many things around. I was going to recommend cord cutting as well.
Yeah,
afterwards.
That's what I meant actually.
Yeah. So you can go ahead. There's tremendous amount of Reiki, different exercises that you can do to put a protective bubble around yourself prior to answering that phone and engaging with the person and really grounding yourself. And as you feel it in your body and you're feeling that you're starting to carry their emotions and for them, just really keep asking yourself, is this mine to carry? Is this mine to carry? And just keep answering with the question versus you trying to constantly give them solutions. So hard as an attorney, but give it back to them. What do you need from me right now? Because especially in family law, as you know, they just want a place to dump all their emotions. So just know that, okay, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to just hold the little trash can here for them to, on the side, for them to dump it, but you not get it on you and you not carry it. And then at the end, you just go to a place of facts without emotion, and you go to a place of what your solution is. And then you hold your healthy boundaries and you remind them, listen, this is what I can offer to you right now. And you go to a place of solution with compassion, with empathy, but you do what you have to do to manage and facilitate that conversation while you're in it, because we train people how to behave. And so you can't care more than they do. A lot of times I would assert my experience in my family law clients is that they just want a place to dump all their garbage on you. And most times attorneys, professionals will gladly carry that around for them. And then it weighs on us. So just get really clear on facilitating that conversation and also saying, fantastic, I'll be on the phone with you. I have 15 available minutes. Allow them to dump, hold it for them, but then remind them and you run the clock. Okay, great. We have 4 minutes left and I really want to get you to a place of solution. And so you have to manage your time. You have to run the clock and you have to consistently remind them, okay, I have 15 minutes for our call. Okay, great. We have 4 minutes left. Oh, great. We have 60 seconds left. And you keep reminding them of when their time's up, very much like therapists do. Like, oh, time's up. Get out of my office. So just run it like that, but be compassionate. And then afterwards, make sure you really ground yourself and do what you can to cut those cords.
You know what else you could do? That's really good advice in terms of the countdown. I love that idea. If you can figure out a way to give them a homework assignment, then that will make them feel like they're being productive also.
Yes.
I don't know exactly what that homework assignment is. It could be even just as simple as like, okay, you need to keep a log of this or, all these different things. But that way, because the whole thing is like right now they're probably feeling helpless and they don't know what to do, right? So if you can basically give them some things that they can do, even if it's just, that it's nothing more than just to keep them busy, that will calm them down a little bit. And having them calm will probably take a big weight off of your shoulders anyway.
Oh, I love that. They love homework and they love to feel like they're in action. So you can hang up and give them some action. That's fantastic, Andy.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Can I give an unpopular answer? I'm not going to. So as lawyers, we tend to we know we have not infinite time. And so we get really obsessed on managing the stock of our time. Fine. But we're not very good at managing our limited cognitive and emotional stocks. There's only so much that we can do. And it's the same as time in that sense that you have to manage it. One way that I've talked about dealing with some of this stuff is to define a constraint on yourself. So Seth Godin talks about if you've got a sushi joint that's only open 1 day a week, you've got to design your business very differently to be able to deal with that constraint. In the same way, I was a family lawyer forever. You and I, we have limited give a crap, right? There's only so much give a crap we can give to other people. You can create a constraint around that, and that might involve letting some clients go right now. If you recognize your own constraints and your own inability to take on everybody else's burdens, you might need to cut some of that to deal with this new normal.
Yeah, I love that perspective, Mike, and recognizing that this is just another asset that we have that's finite, and we have to choose how to give that out and how to share it. My question to you, Melissa, is the emotions that they're sharing with you. Do you think that those emotions are serving them in their space? Like, are these emotions good for them, or do they need to resolve those?
I think most of them are it's coming from a place of fear and worry, which is not good.
Right.
And a lot of it's going because they're focusing on the negative, the what if, what if I can't see my kid for 3 weeks? And so I know today I just put out a blog on ways for them to help their children minimize anxiety during these next 3 weeks. And a lot of it is about cooperation with the other parent and just understanding that patience is probably, the new norm for us right now.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think that they're probably spiraling out of control because they're focusing on it. As a matter of fact, parents who probably would be okay altering the schedule or missing a time with their child because they have a conflict are suddenly making a mountain out of this when they'd be okay with it if it was other circumstances, right? So what's happening is that they're dumping this emotion on you, but it's not even emotion that serves them well. So for you to hold it for them is not helping them. You're not, by taking that on from them, you're not actually helping them. You're doing them a disservice. What you really need to do is help them deflect that emotion and put it into perspective. So rather than helping you figure out how to deal with your own stress because you're holding all this for them, I think that it would serve you better if we found a way to help you help your clients in a constructive way that would turn them away from this mode of panic into a mode of calm. And I like what Andy shared as far as giving them an assignment. What I think would be helpful is if you can make a very, very clear action plan for all of your clients, the same action plan for each one of them. Look, here's the situation. You're not going to see your kids in person because this is the mandate and this is the facts. This is what's going to happen. Here's what you can do to make sure that you stay connected with your children and that you have time with them. Maybe you set up a time slot for FaceTime with the kids. Maybe you do an activity with them over the phone. You play a board game, over the phone with them. So you come up with this plan of how they can interact with their children, even though they're physically distanced from them, but they can still be parents. They can still be actively involved. And you create that plan for them. Now, if they're not willing to accept it, then you have the freedom to say, well, if they can't accept the recommendations I'm giving them, I don't need to hold this emotion for them because they're unreasonable, right? So I think that it'll allow you to be free to deal with your own stuff if you just have that action plan really clearly laid out. You could even do like you did a blog post or a pre-recorded video where you can turn around and say, look, all of my clients are experiencing this exact issue. I'm going to go through the bullet points here, but here's the article I wrote. Go and read it. Here's the video I recorded. It's just for you. Go and watch it, and then come back to me if you have questions about how to make this action plan perfect for you. But go and do this. Try it for 3 days, and then let's revisit and have another conversation and see if this is working for you. Did you try it? No, you didn't try it. Okay, well then let's try again.
Can I add to that?
Sure, Molly.
Oh, as you were talking, it's kind of in conjunction with what you're saying, what Andy's saying, and actually what Melissa has already been doing. One thing that I'm having my clients do is actually take their exact words that they're giving to you, and I would send out a video to them or a blog and consistently feed them with those value bombs, but also here's what to do and here's what not to do. And then I would also give them homework when they come to you and request a call or something of that nature. Have them do like an intake or something where they're, maybe even you create a simple form of what emotions they're feeling, what they want to talk about, and make them put pen to paper and then submit it to you. And then you get on a video with them and have them make eye-to-eye contact with you and use it on many different ways, and then repurpose it, put it out on your social channels, put it on your YouTube, send it out to your clients. But you can give them homework even before you get on the phone with them, so you can de-energize a lot of that and make them get super clear about what they want to talk to you about. And then also speaking into what to do. And every time you're on the phone with a client or you get an email, they're giving you such rich information for marketing too, for future base, for the long tail marketing. And this one we're having our clients do in legal marketing flow. It's working out beautifully. It's cutting down on the phone calls. And when you are on the phone with the clients, with giving them a little bit of prep work, they're showing up a little softened, and they are also showing up really, really prepared.
Can I add something real quick around that too?
Sure, Wendy, go ahead.
I love what everybody's saying. I love it. What we're talking about really is pattern interruption, I think. So when someone's in a negative spiral, and this applies to us too, so we can apply this to when we get there. Yeah. But as a coach and a mentor, what I do is I do pattern interruptions. And it's part of it is noticing when it's absolutely not helpful anymore to be going on and on about the fears, about the I don't want this to happen, I don't want that to happen, understanding, having compassion. But then that question of, well, what can you do? I was doing this before this huge event. It was always, what can you do? And having them write that down in the call. So tell me, go ahead and list and write down, what can you do right now? And then keep asking that question until they, you know, depending on your time limits, until they can't think of anything else anymore. But the idea is to get that pattern interrupted, get them on a positive flow, and the momentum will completely shift. It's amazing how quickly the momentum in the call will shift for you, Melissa, and you'll feel better. But you have to just notice in your body when it's like, you can head it off at the pass. Like you already know what's coming. So you just do it on the front end of it. What can you do? What can you do? What can you do? And it shifts the energy completely.
Yeah. And I'll add to that too. One other thing that we teach in our coaching program is that people will, typically their answer is, I don't know, which I don't know is a habit and a pattern for people that don't want to take action or responsibility. So if that's an answer that you get in the coaching world, our response to that is always, well, if you did know, what would it be?
Yes. Yeah. So good. So good.
All right. Anybody else want to weigh in for Melissa?
I want to just weigh in one thing, and that is,
Sure, Shauna.
Yvette. So as I think, as your clients are calling in, is you're listening, and that is just very powerful in itself, is to then just listen. But then you're going to be, you know, as these conversations are unfolding over these next couple weeks, because it's probably going to be 3 or 4 weeks, that you are just continuing to identify the key reoccurring issues that they're calling you with. And I think that's just an opportunity for you to develop your own, relationship with them. And so that you can create what are just be these simple checklists of, this is what I'm seeing, so that you can give them some tactical items for them to, to be problem solving. So this is about you're creating content. And, they're having to build a different relationship with their children and with their, their ex-husband or wife. And it's also an opportunity for you to, build your own different relationship with your clients as well. And so this is all new. And then the other thing, which, we're all in this immediate, everyone's checking the news every 60 minutes. And I think it's for you to keep your own mental health intact, is to really just go up 30,000 feet and just recognize that this is the now and there is panic, but this will too pass, and to hold that higher place so that your clients, instead of going down to where they are in panic mode, you're going to bring them up into let's all breathe and just we're figuring out this new path, but you will help them get through this, and it's just looks a little different than what it has in the past.
Yeah, that's really great advice. I know personally, I've been limiting the news myself. There's only 2 hours a day that I will actually go get my news. So I'm aware of what's going on to better help my clients with what they're panicking about. And I've always taken this since it came out that, this is just part of nature. This is something that we go through nature. This is just a new one that we're looking at, and, things will happen over time. And, for me, it's nothing new. Practice the same health hygiene that I used to do. And, for me, it's just now because I do have people around me who are vulnerable, taking a little bit more precautions so I don't pick it up, bring it home to them. But I think that's part of just telling people, this isn't a time to fear. And, with clients saying there's no courts right now, what can I do? And I said, we don't need the courts to come up with a solution. So I think helping them realize the court is just one tool. We have other tools in the toolbox that we can find too.
Yeah, and I think that you have to always be looking for, as a business owner and a problem solver for your clients, you always have to be looking for a solution. And as we talk about your specific situation, I see a potential solution. I don't know if you could do this, if you're legally allowed to do it, but what if you created a support group for these parents? What if you created a virtual support group, you charged for that, you capitalized on your time where you're doing one-to-many, and when they're working together, they're going to be helping each other, and you're just facilitating it. So your job is just to keep it in a positive direction and to ask the right questions, to prompt the right conversation, but bring the parents together, let them see that they're not the only ones who are dealing with this. And at the same time, you're going to free up your time, because now you can charge for it. You're providing a service to them. But support groups they're there for all kinds of other problems. This is a perfect opportunity in social distancing to create that connection, and that's the support that they need, and to also make your time worth it, that you're not dealing with each one of these independently, going through the same stuff, but instead you're doing this one-to-many, and you could probably charge the same thing you're charging them for your direct time, as it is, which, what leads me to my next point, not specifically for you, which is to always look, and this is not necessarily just managing stress and staying positive, but you always need to be looking for opportunity to serve, opportunity to make a difference, and opportunity to collect money. And this is a tragic situation. It's tragic on many levels. I mean, there are people who are dying. There are people who are on respirators. There are people who are physically going through the process. But for the rest of us that are not dealing with actual medical problems and are just dealing with the fact that we're stuck at home and we can't go to the grocery store or the library or interact with our friends, it's an opportunity to look for those golden nuggets, for those things that we never were able to do before, that suddenly we can do now, to show up and serve in a different way, and maybe add something to our business model that will stick moving forward. Anybody else have anything for Melissa?
One other thing might be, and I think somebody mentioned this a little bit, but being proactive might be a good idea also. I'm not sure how comfortable you are doing videos and things. I know you said you wrote a blog post. For me, I can do a video in 5 minutes, and it takes me 3 days to write a blog post. So that's why I do video for everything, is because I can just do it so much faster. But what I would you have to think, if you have one person that is having this problem, that has this question, there's lots of people out there that also have the same question, right? So you can basically, you can take all the questions and all the complaints, or not complaints, but all the problems that people are having, and write them down and start creating content. And you could even proactively start sending that stuff out to your clients, so that maybe they have, so that it might mitigate or it might reduce some of the phone calls that you're getting. But then what you can also do to take it even further, and this is my marketing brain, you may not even want more clients at this point if you hit the stress levels there, but then what you can do is you can start sending these videos out and even putting them on like your personal Facebook page and places like that. And what I always do with that stuff like that, I personally call it PSA style marketing, because basically you're just answering questions that people have, and you're just trying to help people. So you don't say anything about like a free consultation or anything at the end of the video, but you say, hey, I'm a family law attorney, and I've been getting a lot of clients that are asking me, how do child visitation rights work right now with a stay home order? Well, it could be this, it could be this, it could be this. If you have any questions, send me a direct message and I'll help you out. And if you know anybody else that needs to see this, just share this video and I'll help them out as well. And that's if you do that consistently and answer questions that a lot of people find valuable, then your videos will actually start to go, and they'll start to kind of go, I don't know about viral, but they'll start to get spread to a lot of people. And when you have the answers to questions that people are thinking and they don't know who to turn to, that's really valuable, and people start hanging on every word. So that's what I would do, is I would be writing every single one of these questions down. I'd be using it as an opportunity of basically saying, this is my ideal audience telling me what they want to know about right now and what problems they have. Because, growing a business is all about solving problems. As entrepreneurs, that's your job, is you're a problem solver. So that could be an issue also, or that could be a solution, is to get ahead of it.
All right, awesome. Go ahead, Melissa. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
I was going to say, I really like that suggestion, Andy, because I can probably write a quick blog in about a half hour, but I could probably in that same amount of time record 10 videos. Yeah.
And then you take those blogs and you get them transcribed, you take the videos, you get them transcribed, and then you turn them to blogs. You can't do the opposite,
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, Melissa, thank you so much for being willing to come on live, being vulnerable and asking that question. It actually created some great conversation around this topic, and I'm sure that there are people who were dealing with this exact thing or similar things. So I do appreciate your participation. Now, folks, what I'm going to do is we're getting up to the top of the hour now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to very briefly go into a lightning round for our panelists to just ask them for one takeaway, one last point, one last thought that they want to leave with you. But before we do that, this is only possible. These live streams that we're doing is only possible. There's a lot of expense that goes into it behind just the coordination of everything. We're also running ads to spread the word about it, and that happens from sponsors. And it would be wrong for me not to make sure that you understood that they're here for you. Yeah, they all have something to sell, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of companies out there and a lot of vendors out there, and they stepped up and said, here, I want to support this campaign. Just kick their tires, take a look at them, see if it's for you. If it's not, that's okay, but at least give them an opportunity. So real quick, Smith AI, Mimi's going to go and put all this into the chat so you have the links. Smith AI is offering a tremendous offer where you get almost $300 worth of add-on extra services. It essentially makes your first 2 months free. Give them a run and see if it works for you. Try out their service and see if that works for you. New Law Business Model. Join their Facebook group. What was it? The Lifestyle. I forget the name of it. I will get to it in just a moment. Lifestyle Lawyers Club. You saw Allie. She's been on yesterday. She was on today. She's doing great things. If you're in estate planning or want to work with business clients, she's definitely the person you want to go to, who's got all of that worked out. Join her Facebook group and get involved in her community. And then finally, GNGF, they're giving a free book. It takes just a moment to go and sign up for it. And the book is an amazing resource for you. So you want to make sure that you add that to your library, that you can read and get knowledge on online marketing, which is what it's all about. And then finally, we have our incubator program, which just launched, which is going to give you support as a small firm, 0 to 250K in revenue. You will have weekly calls, one on marketing, one on technology, one on running a practice, and a fourth call, which is a Q&A or a guest panel section. And you can join that now for $27 a month. It'll never be this cheap. Only the first 30 spots are $20 a month. And we're already halfway there. So you want to make sure that you get that before it's too late. and I hope I said the right amount, $27 a month. Anyway, that's our sponsors. Check them out, give them a whirl, and I appreciate your support. Let me just go back to our panelists, the ones that are remaining, and just do a quick lightning round, parting thoughts that you'd like to leave with our listeners as we close this down. So I'm going to go to Mike first, and after Mike, we'll go to Wendy.
So my daughter has this thing whenever her life gets overwhelming, she gets to come ask me for a Nutella date. No questions asked. We just go out and get some Nutella. And so go buy some Nutella. If any of you guys are struggling financially and want to talk through some of this stuff, I can send you a free copy of Lawyer Forward on PDF. Just shoot me a message at mike@lawyerforward.com and I'll send it out to you.
Awesome. Nutella solves a lot of problems.
Nutella solves a lot. Just as a side note, we went out yesterday. She had a terrible day after the bird died, and we go sit in the car, and she didn't talk to me at all. We both just bit on the Nutella, and both of us looking out into the distance, we're like, it just like let it all out.
I love that. So my parting thoughts would be along just piggybacking a little bit off of what Michael shared, is to be in the moment, is to cherish and appreciate every single moment and everything that's happening in that moment deeper and more frequently than you ever have in your life. The other thing is, many of us may feel either now or in the future that some of the bigger decisions being made by the government or other policymakers are not necessarily the right choices or things that we don't agree with. What I'd like to encourage all of us to do is to restore our belief and our trust in humanity, and trust in ourselves, trust in our communities, trust in our neighbors. Our lives are not at the hands of some of these larger institutions, even though it can feel like that. As people, we can trust each other, and we can trust communities to come together, neighbors to come together, friends to come together. You can trust yourself to make the right decisions for your family. And I think that can help us regain a sense of security that it's something that we have. We can absolutely shape our future when we move forward with that belief.
Awesome. Thank you, Wendy. All right. Molly wanted to go before she had to leave, but I guess that time has come for her. Shauna, let's go to you.
Okay, my tip is going to be lots of fresh air breaks. Everyone, you're cooped up. So whether it be we're continually like on the hour, every 3 hours, walk outside, soak up the sun, get that vitamin D, the fresh air, and also extend to figure out more activities that you can do outside. In our house, we're doing spike ball. It's just like, it's a net that you can set up. I mean, you got to use this time to, don't forget to laugh and have fun, because it doesn't have to be doom and gloom. We need to lighten up, keep a positive perspective, and moving the body and lungs will help that. And Nutella too. We're big fans of that in our house.
Awesome. Andy.
Okay, so my big message is only focus on what you can control and just work on that. If you're going to be on social media, try to be a social media producer, not a social media consumer, just because of the fact that the consumer is, that's where you'll go crazy. And then if you are going to be a consumer, then every profile has, or every person in your newsfeed has a snooze for 30-day option. And I've been using that very frequently for a lot of the people that are saying the world is ending and posting every 12 seconds about how we're all going to die. So, those are my three things. Just focus on what you can control. Be a producer, not a consumer of social media. And if you have to, snooze people for 30 days.
Awesome. I love that. And what I'm going to share is sit down for a few minutes and just think about what is a project that I can work on that's going to move my business forward while I'm in this situation, while we're there. I did that when this first started, and that's what this live stream is, the result of that project. But what it did is it created something for me to focus on and took my focus away from everything else. I did not look at the news yesterday at all. I don't even know if it's going up, if it's going down. It doesn't matter. I'm not leaving my home. When the all clear is out, I'm sure I'll figure it out. What's going on around me, it it's not affecting my household. So I'm going to focus on what I can, like Andy said, what you do have in your control. But I created a project for myself so that every day I have something that I need to do that's going towards that project. And it's just giving me an outlet to be there for my community. And also at the same time, it removes so much of that stress and it keeps me focused on positivity. I mean, you guys are amazing. I mean, look at the people who are showing up to these things every day and the feedback that we're getting. I couldn't be happier to be hanging out with a better crowd. So thank you to the panelists for being here and for giving us their time. And this was a great conversation. So awesome insight. And also, I just want to remind you that this is a 10-day series. So tomorrow we're doing marketing strategies to put you ahead. So a little bit less of the heavy stuff, and we'll get more involved in the technicalities of how you can focus on some things for your marketing to move forward. And that is at 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, same time as today. I'm really looking forward to that. I know, Andy, you're back. So looking forward to seeing everybody there. Thank you to our panelists, and go enjoy your families and stay safe and focus on positive things. We'll all get through this together.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
You're welcome.
That's it for this week's episode of Profit with Law. If you have enjoyed the show, please consider sharing it with at least one person. Imagine how many lives we can change if we each shared this episode. Another way to share the episode is on social media. We appreciate your support and look forward to you joining us again next week.